How are we getting on then? So we're starting to see, aren't we, that the role of IT in our whole push into Power BI is there, and there's definitely a requirement for us IT professionals to be heavily involved. But we also have to make sure the business is engaged and are actively involved as well. One of the things that kind of really lands this is the constant pace of development and the constant push that Microsoft are doing to update and upgrade the platform. Power BI has had a monthly update cycle for over a decade now. So bang, 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 bang. You need to get used to this. You need to get used to checking and managing, going back and reviewing and understanding what is going on, what's changed, what's been updated, and what do I need to do about it. Hi, my name's Ross, the creator and founder of Geordie Consulting and Geordie Intelligence, the YouTube channel you're watching today. What we're looking at really is this update cycle that goes on across the Power BI platform and the impact that it can have. So picked a good time, and it felt as good as any. I was thinking, well, what are we going to talk about? June 2026, we had some big updates come through. Going to have a big impact on our business users as we try and explain to them what's going on with a lot of these. But it also shows, I think, where from our view, just how Microsoft at times don't seem to know their own platform and release things into GA that frankly have no business being in the platform. That's our view. You may disagree. If you do, let me know down below. Before we go though, don't forget, like and subscribe, support the channel, get involved. So Power BI Desktop, kind of where this all begins, isn't it? Now, this report authoring tool, as I say, every month there are updates to it. Okay, so you're going to have to make sure in your organization you've got plans for how you're going to roll out those updates to the client. It just needs to come through. And typically, in terms of update cycle, there are generally 2 to 3, if not more, actual software releases that go with that main release. So there are constant hot fixes going through and other things like that. So it is well worth making sure you've got in place proper deployment routines to manage that versioning. Generally, things are fine as long as everyone's on the same version, but you will find there are errors if people are trying to open files that have been built or authored in versions ahead of what they're accessing. So it's well worth taking care, considering how that's going to go. In June though, and how do we know we're on the June release? Good question, I hear you say. So if we go to the file and go to about, and it'll bring up a little thing that'll tell you the current version that you are on. Once you know that, it's easy, isn't it? Okay. So each update is accompanied with a blog post. And in these blog posts, you can go down and you can see some of the information that's there available for it. The one I want to look at today is this. Okay. Tooltip options for Power BI is now generally available. Okay. This has been kind of talked about, hummed and hard about, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? What's it going to look like? It's actually gone through really quickly. I think it's only been a couple of months since they released it as a preview feature. But how does it work is kind of one of those things. So let's go. So in Power BI Desktop, come back to there. Okay, let's have a look at our test page here. So we've got here a visual, and you can see there's a tooltip. So if we hover over, we get this tooltip. And that's fine for these kind of things, but it's not exactly flashy. It doesn't tell us a lot. What we could do is we could build other things before. So we could build tooltip pages, and that was great. But the issue with the tooltip pages is they don't work with the advanced interactions where it opens up a little option below to do a drill through, or without having to do right click, which some people struggle with. But then when we look at it as a map, it kind of really doesn't work so well. Okay, so we can see we've got problems here. So we've got the new fix is going to make that simpler. So how does it work? What do we need to do? So let's start with this one. So on the right here, we can see this is what we've got. It's going into this, the year and the inspections. And that's key. The data fields that you want to appear within your record, in your data set, within your tooltip have to be in the visual well somewhere. So if in doubt, you end up putting them in the tooltip. So they have to be there. It's job number one. So let's see what that means. So in terms of doing it, it's actually very simple. So we're going to pull through the formatting blade. So we've got formatting. Under properties is where we've got tooltips. See here. So let's go with chart specific tooltip, sentence format. Okay. So we need to put our curly brackets in. Okay. And we'll put year. So we go in year. There were curly brackets, inspections. Okay. So that's not too difficult, is it? The main thing is to make sure that you have to match these exactly. Okay. And it used the curly braces. So let's see, does that work? So it has, yeah. So in 2025, there were that, but we still got our original one. We don't want that, do we? So what we can do is we can here say, yeah, we just want the sentence format. So we do that. Now when we hover over, we get this. Okay, so it says in 2025, there were this. We can see clearly, right, okay, this is good. We're getting sensible information out of it. And then obviously in 2026, still got lots that need to be done. This works. What do you think? I mean, I love that. But trying to explain this to our customer base is going to be really difficult. So for example, yeah. For example, we've got the overdue percentage, yeah? So we can see we've got overdue percent. So I could say, oh, my goodness me, this zoomed in thing is so annoying. So we've got overdue percent. Let's go this way so you can see it. Let's go hyphen. Overdue percent. Okay, so I've put something in for that. Doesn't work. So what we need to do is we need to bring that in to the tooltips. So it's a field within the visual. That's the key thing. And again, it has to match the name of it. And then we get that. Okay. So we could then say, there are overdue. Overdue. Yeah. So we can now hover over it and we see, we get the information. Okay. But again, that makes no sense in the context of that. But I wanted you to see it's important for us to have it there. Okay. So we could then do the same, couldn't we, for this map here. Okay. So we can then say, for these, click on it, go to the formatting blade under properties. We have tooltips there, so we can see what we've got. So what we could talk about here is under buildings, what we have as well is house num and an address, don't we? Because when we had address, well, it's not there, it's just saying house num, so it's not picked that up. So do we need to go first house num? Yeah. Okay. So it goes with the name that's in the tooltip, that's in the field well for it. That's interesting enough. Okay. Probably wouldn't do that. I thought there was an address, so we could put like house number and an address, and then we could do that. Clearly there isn't. So, but what we can do is we can say, buildings. Okay, let's zoom in on that so you can see. Yeah, so we've gone first lot, hyphen, like borough, space, hyphen, buildings. So we kind of say, you know, this Queens, it's one building, 3 buildings. Okay, but we could put this in. 3 buildings on lot. Right? So we kind of got the idea, haven't we? You can start to piece it all together. And then we could say, well, we just want to have just that. Again, that makes it much easier, much cleaner. We can start to piece it all together, can't we? What do you think? That makes sense? Coming back to the blog, one of the other things that's come out this month, this wasn't as part of the release, this is a service feature that's come through, and not a fan, really not a fan at all of this. So, if you have a look at this chart here, you can kind of see what they're saying. Oh, it brings everything together. Okay, and the kind of problem that you have is it misses the whole point of everything. So, way back when Power BI first came out, apps had one audience. That was it. You could have one audience for the apps. And I thought, oh, I don't like that. That seems terrible. You know, what happens about this? And the reality is, well, you'd have more apps. You know, you can have one app per workspace. It's not, there's no tax on workspaces. So having multiple workspaces, multiple access control lists, multiple apps, not a huge issue. Audiences came through, and I was skeptical about audiences initially, but they kind of really proved their value when you think, well, we want to have, this is the core app that everyone has, but then like team leads might have an extra report page that they can also see suddenly there, or an extra dashboard or something else. And you can do that with the audiences. So that makes a lot of sense. The challenge is, and this is where the real problem comes, is Microsoft are pushing a route of saying, well, let's do everything in one workspace. And you don't want everything in one workspace because you've got different groups of people who need different things throughout the whole data pipeline. So your in data ingestion side, that potentially reaches all the way into production systems. So you might be saying, you know, these people who have access to pull from a production tool, only this group can do that. That's very legitimate. So that's why we say to people, break down your ingestion by tool that you're coming from. Okay, so we say, well, we've got pull from SAP, from an SAP location, Oracle location. It could be a business process. We might split. We might be using Oracle across finance and across HR. We can say, well, we're going to have the Oracle finance, Oracle HR side as two separate because we just want that to be the case. There's no, this is definitely going to work for you, but it's a case of being logical about what you're doing. Once you've got that idea and they're going to build the data to the point where it's fit for model, you also have the capability of saying, well, we're going to move this out of Power BI or into something else. So a tool like Azure Databricks, for example, could be replacing that whole build, that ETL cycle. And then what comes out from that via your catalog, well, the OneLake catalog is, of course, your tables that are fit for modeling. Yeah. You then have a workspace that's going to have your semantic models, because again, these are the crown jewels of the process of the whole analysis platform. You might decide we want all our semantic models in one location. You might decide, again, we're going to split them by department. You might decide we're going to split them by tool. This is up to you as a business, as a client, but it's again thinking in terms of what are we going to have to manage and manipulate that we don't want other people to do? Is there a security reason to separate them? Is kind of the point. Then you've got the idea of saying, well, we've got apps, but apps are typically multifunctional. So it's not just a case of saying, right, this group of people are only going to access this app, because doing that, you then end up in a matter of time very quickly of saying, well, we've got 10 apps that these people have to go to. They're not going to remember 10 apps. They won't. Okay. If you want people to go to apps that contain information about 10 different things, why don't you put them all together and have one app that has everything they need with a nice dashboard menu system that's going to allow them to actually interact with what they need for their job role. And that's something that Workspace Apps did really well, okay? Because they become, this is your visualization layer, you're putting them together, your semantic model layer, it's protected, it's looked after, it's secure. And this is just visualizations. And what Workspace Apps did was you had to build it, pre-stage it, and then effectively it was almost like a shadow copy that it takes. And that's then what's presented as the app. So you had a manual step to go and hit update app when you were cutting over. So you would say, oh, we're going to go live at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning with this. And somewhere between 5 p.m. the night before and 9 a.m., somebody would hit update the app. Okay. And you'd have your kind of launch, but then everyone's fine. Not a problem. Workspace apps, on the other hand, say, no, just bring everything together. And as soon as it's updated, it's in the app, it's available to people. So you can't stage it, which means you then have to put in place a pipeline. But then you've got everything in one place. So you end up having to put multiple folders in for each app audience that you're going to have, or app with audience that you're going to have. And then everything's pushed into there for people to use. And it's automatically done when you publish it. So how do you test? Well, you've got to create a test workspace where people can publish stuff to test it. But what are they testing? How are you running it? It just becomes an absolute mess very quickly, because what you would end up doing is replicating this app structure in a QA environment. People are testing it, but it should be a continual delivery with almost nightly updates going through. But how can you do that and validate this? But then you're putting validations on drag and drop report builds that have no semantic model. We've said to you time and again, the semantic model is what we care about. Shouldn't care too much about that drag and drop report. Yes, it's important. Yes, it's vital. Yes, that's the bit that your business is interacting with. But no, there's no real change management items that you have in there. It's a configuration of the semantic model. You've configured semantic model, effectively played through a lens to say, this is how we want the semantic model to be presented on these 2 or 3 pages. I did a workshop earlier in the week with a client, and we went through and we did a few things. And it was by the end of the workshop, we had, here's a semantic model, 8 reports. That was just a workshop. Built the first kind of basic proto app for them. And that's just getting started. We've had clients where there's well over 100 reports. Did we run through change management each and every one of them? Gosh, no. Would we want to? Definitely not. Would there be a business benefit of doing that? No. So why would we push ourselves through it? It's like you're putting lots of effort into it. Then you say, well, we want the business to build those, because I can guarantee those clients with over 100 reports, they weren't all built by the IT team. They were built mostly by the business. Released, set these things up, templates, use those, brilliant things to use. Find everything they need, automatically connected to the model. They don't have to learn how to do that. They just drag and drop what they want. You can put an instruction sheet baked into it. You can put the data dictionary baked into it. You can do all those things you want. And all they have to do is drag and drop what they need. And then you can say, well, we'll give you contributor rights to a workspace that will then go to the app. That's fine. They don't have the rights to update the app. They don't have the right to do any of that. They still need to come to you to say, well, we've tested it. We're happy. We like it. Let me know down below if you think I'm missing the point with this, but every time I've looked at these organizational apps, it's been the same. This is the concern I have with them, that they are not adding value. They are adding IT process to something. And we say, well, it's fine. We can do DevOps. We can do it. That's great. But the business isn't going to engage with DevOps to say, right, well, we've now gone through peer review. Peer review of what? It's a drag and drop on visuals. There's nothing to peer review. It's like, oh yeah, I really like how you laid out that chart. Man, that was like A1, tick. Give your head a shake, Microsoft. Okay, seriously. Platform is good, but we've got issues, and this is not one of them. Okay, the annoyance of having to go and manually update the app was fine because it actually there was a conscious step. There was that deliberate step that I am having to do. There's that step of intent. Vital. Really important. Okay. And yeah, don't even get me started yet. Okay. So that's that. So last, and by no means least, the big change that's come finally, all of a sudden, finally, after, do you know, I actually don't even know how many years this has been going on for. So it's a real headache that we've had in the Power BI community for definitely as long as I can remember. We've had this issue. That issue has been around this little visual here. This little visual here. The shape map. Okay? Shape map. The shape map allows you to bring in topographical JSON format files and use them to control your visuals. So at a very high level, you can use it for maps. Great, brilliant, perfect maps, like chloropleth maps. So properly place it together. What you can also do though, is you can actually put together a topo JSON of an office space or of your factory or of something else that's in your business or in your environment, and then map data points to that. So you can then actually start to really easily visualize what's going on. Are the meeting rooms booked? Yes, no. Have a simple color code scheme for that so people can see what's booked. Are people on the phones? Those are all things that can be done depending on the data set you've got and depending on what you're wanting to do. It's all possible. Great one for is our meeting rooms booked is really a big use case. Or hot desks, so the hot desk's booked. Those are the sorts of things the shape map does that just aren't really talked about. Okay, so if you remember, we're here, and we put in our updated tooltip. So you see, wow, brilliant, this is perfect. So let's just take this, and I'm just going to do Control C and Control V. Okay, do that. Let's shift that out of the way here. Okay, and I'm just going to change this and make it into a shape map. And then what we'll do is we will get rid of the longitude for the legend. What we want is the borough for that, and we'll put borough in as well as our legend. Okay, and well, great, Ross. Map of America. It's not America. It's New York. We can see, well, in the properties for it and the map settings, we've got some options here, and this is where the power of this thing actually takes off. What you get by default is quite a limited set of bits you can use, but we can also use a custom map. So we could import something and bring it in. Where can we find that? Where can we find something to import? Finding topo JSONs is a nightmare at times, okay? It can be a problem. It's definitely well worth looking. There are tools you can make them from, and there are tools that will help you adjust once you get something that just needs to be slightly tweaked. But what you can do, or what we'll do for this, because I know where we need to go for this, is I will go to our New York data set, or New York open data. I'll bring that in here. Okay, what we'll look for is boundaries. Okay, borough boundaries really, but boundaries, let's say, borough boundaries, excellent. So we can pick borough boundaries, come here, borough boundaries, brilliant, which is what we want, perfect, borough boundaries. We've got, this is what we're going to end up with. So we can see the shapes, so we're going to have 5 shapes. So here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to export that, click export. We're going to pick GeoJSON as our format here, and then we'll click download. And it'll then download the file that we need to put in for our shape map. So then, where do we put it in? We go back to our shape map here. We've already got custom map selected, haven't we? We're going to pick to browse for a file. It's already here. I want arrow boundaries. You see, perfect. We've already got something. And we can see we've already put in place that we can then hover over it. But yeah, we don't want to have these, do we? So let's get rid of these, and then let's tweak our properties and our tooltip and just remove this bit here. Okay, so all we're left with is borough and buildings. Yeah. We can even make this proper stance, can we? The borough of has, yeah. We've made a sentence out of that, really beautiful sentence structure. Borough of Queens has 569 buildings there. Okay, perfect. We've suddenly got that built. Tooltip works. Perfect. We've got the filtering set up because we've got the legend put on. And as I say, this works very well because it filters other visuals on the page. So we can use GeoJSON formats to help you select and narrow down what it is you need. What we also have now with this is it's got a lot more aware in terms of the way that you can do things with color saturation, those kind of things. So it's definitely better now that we're in GA. So what do you reckon then? June 2026 is great release, okay? It's really good. Kind of marks the midpoint through the year for us, doesn't it, in terms of how far have we gone in 2026 so far. If I'm honest, 2026 from a Microsoft perspective has been a very mixed bag. You guys have really saved things with that, with the tooltips. I love the new tooltips. They are definitely brilliant, exactly what the platform's needed. Okay, some of these things are excellent. But then I see things like these Workspace apps. Okay, come on. You cannot get the business to do this where they are going to provide report content that we're going to have to put through a deployment pipeline, because that's what this means. It means that somebody in IT is going to have to receive a file, upload it to dev or a QA, hopefully just a QA, for the business to then validate and then push the button to promote it. At what point do you think they're not going to go, no, it's all right, I'll just do it in Excel? Every time they do that, no, it's all right, I'll do it in Excel, that's a little bit of the value of Power BI eroded within that business. It's like you've deliberately taken an axe to your business. So come on, guys. It's like the other big yay moment of the year so far was when you decided to declare data flows Gen 1 as legacy and remove the value proposition of Power BI Pro to seriously big businesses who are paying for E5 and E7 licenses. You know, their Power BI Pro footprint needs those data flows so they can actually have an entry-level data point that can allow them to upscale data. And for normal small clients, like, data flows are great because they allow you to stage data and reuse it. It's like, there's definitely seems to be like a blinker somewhere in Microsoft about platform and what it actually means and how clients use it. I see it day in, day out with small clients, with big clients. These are the things they use regularly to make their business work. Why would you threaten that? Because all it's doing is undermining your platform. So please, let's make the rest of 2026 a great year for the platform. Let's extend where it's gone and let's keep the momentum going so that clients feel comfortable sticking with Microsoft. I hope I haven't asked too difficult a question for anybody. If you like what I've said or you disagree completely, leave a comment down below. For now though, stay safe, take care, ta-da.